Well, I may be jumping the gun on this, but I've decided to go ahead and post the answer to the question, mainly because I'm not getting the results that I expected or hoped for, and not that any response is wrong or can be wrong, but I was thinking I was going to get more almost like a poll results, lots of yeses or nos, and only a few people maybe sharing a little bit about why they believed whichever way they did. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and do this, but I'll keep an eye on the question, and hopefully we'll get some more yes or no's, because I'm very interested in seeing where people fall in what I believe is after only superficial consideration. I expected most people initially to just go, well, of course, we all have to choose what we're going to believe. We all have to decide what to believe. And I've given some things away, and then I expected them kind of to hesitate. Hey, wait a minute, what's this guy going after? Was he setting me up or what? Give it a little more thought, and then we get some interesting answers. But I'll tell you, I made a few commitments. I said I would come back with the answer as far as how I would answer it, my position. That I'd share a little test that I hope would be it would shed light on why I believe what I do and be persuasive. Help others or convince others. That my position on this is the correct position. I also committed to keeping the videos short, so let's do this. The question: do I choose what I believe? Do you choose what you believe? And the answer is no, absolutely not. We do not choose what we believe. The test, it's really a simple test, and it goes like this. I tried it on my son today. I called him in. I asked him the question. He was like, "Hey, I don't know, Dad." I said, "Well, that's all right. Well, try this." I said, "Think of something that you believe, something that you're really sure of." And I'll tell you what I told him in case you're having trouble with the question as he was. For some reason, how it is sometimes it's just hard to pull something out of the air. And I said, "Okay, well tell me this. Do you believe you know what your name is?" Well, of course I do. I said, "All right. Well, stop it." He's like, I said, "Well, stop believing that right now." He's like, "Well, I can't." I said, "Well, that's my point. What would you do if I told you that your name wasn't John, but your name was Ted?" And he said, "I'll be really mad at you." I said, "Okay, that's good, but really, right now, if I told you that your name is Ted, would you believe me?" And he said, "No." I said, "Really? Okay. Well, what if I, explain the story to you that originally we named you Ted, and as an afterthought, we were like, man, that stinks. Let's just call him John." And he'd say, "Oh, I've got it." I said, "Well, what if I showed you a birth certificate with the name Ted on it?" And that's was like, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, you can see. You begin to give it some consideration, right?" Right. Well, I think that's how it is. You two choose anything you believe, you firmly, truly believe right now, and then knock it off or change it. And if I'm right, you can't do it. We cannot change what we truly believe. And I'll usually, in this context, I'll try to qualify believe with truly believe, because boy, there's a lot of things that people do inside their heads. I do not believe you can change anything right now that you truly believe simply by force of your will. By just sheer will, you can't say, "I'm not going to believe this anymore," or "I'm going to start believing this." I'd like to leave it at that. I had a couple of answers that I did appreciate. I thought they were thoughtful. One gentleman quoted Dawkins. I say gentleman, who knows? One response quoted Dawkins as saying, "The evidence demands that I'm an atheist." That was, kind of heading toward where I was moving the thing. And then Brett Keene responded. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. And he said, "I choose," his choice is to pursue truth, even if it's uncomfortable. And I think that too shows that he has an idea where I was going with this. So, okay, to keep with the short, that's the answer to the question. You do not choose what you believe. And then I'm going to come back with another video that addresses, well, then how do these beliefs change? Because I certainly don't argue the fact that beliefs change. I know they do. So the question then is, how do they change? And then what are the qualities or detractors in a person, that cause them to move from a position? So I'll be back.